Welcome to this video corresponding to document number 4 in the Introduction to Math Operations. Today we're going to be talking about trigonometric, hyperbolic, and other functions. And so we'll start with this document. And the document talks about additional functions for mathematical expressions. We're going to start with the panel right here, the panel called functions. Out of that, we're going to present the functions, the 8 functions right here, and the exponential. The others are functions related to calculus, and we're going to present them in a different video. There is not a whole lot of science into this one. Simply click in here, type the name of the function, and replace your values. For example, if I want to find the log base 5 on 45, you get 2.3652. The others are straightforward: sine, cosine, sine, cosine, natural log, argument of a complex number, tangent and cotangent. And the perk. This is a function that used to be in that collection. Is no longer there, so I'm going to take it out. We're going to present in another video. And so all you have to do is just select the function and call it from here. I gave you some examples in here. If you want to try them, pause the video, use your SMath Studio, and follow that. Let's see. Letter I, number pi, E are all predefined functions. The E is related to the exponential, and so the exponential of minus 0.2 is the same as saying e to the minus 0.2. By default, the argument of trigonometric functions is given in radians. If you want to use degrees, type quad DEG in the arguments to give you those results. Give you some examples to try. Again, pause and use those examples. Whenever you have functions that are trigonometric, exponential, and again, those are called transcendental functions. And so the equations that are formed with those transcendental functions are called transcendental equations. And you can use solve to solve those equations. For example, let's solve the first one right here. You just need to type solve ln r space bar minus 1.5 control equal for the Boolean sign 0, r equal, and I give you a result right there. Functions of a complex number. Those functions that I demonstrated right now for real numbers can be also used for complex numbers. You can simply use a complex argument in them. This is a power, natural log, cosine, sine. It gives you a complex result. These are defined as follows: the n power, in this manner. The log of a complex number can be split into a real part and an imaginary part. The exponential function, also using the Euler formula, can be split into a real part and an imaginary part. From the Euler's formula, we can write these two expressions, changing the sign of the angle theta, and then add them and isolate cosine theta, and subtract them and isolate sine theta. These are the way that the sine and cosine of complex numbers are treated. And then the definition of the hyperbolic sines and cosine, for example, are presented in here, and then the other functions follow from the definition that were presented earlier. Trigonometric functions from the function icon. This is the function icon right here, and then we identify our trigonometric functions. There are 13 of them, and here are some examples of them. This is the meaning of all those functions, and it should be just straightforward. Just type the name of the function, put an argument to it, and get the results. I invite you to pause here and study those. You could try to repeat them in your SMath Studio. Hyperbolic functions from the function icon. Again, if we go back to here, find hyperbolic, you get 10 hyperbolic functions that are defined as follows. And then you can follow these examples, pause the video, try those into your SMath Studio file. This is nothing really complicated, just the definition of those functions and the application by borrowing the results presented in this list of functions from the functions icon. Finally, in upcoming videos, I'm going to present a series of other functions. What I did, I went into the all category and look at those that are not included in the trigonometric hyperbolic programming strings and isolated them. And for example, trigonometric and hyperbolic are already covered. So these are some of the purely numeric functions that we haven't yet covered and we'll cover in the next video. Functions that apply to expressions. Functions for solving equations, functions for interpolation, and some functions for calculus. We're going to talk about those in an upcoming video, and this is the end of this particular video on trigonometric, hyperbolic, and other functions.